the hell? Haven't we figured out that nobody wants this collectively as a society, as a people?
There we go. Audio should now be working. Maybe people see that about us too, Paul. People don't really want us around. And
yeah, no, there's always going to be critics, What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
It's the end of the world. Oh, God. So
every day I expect to go to the gym and walk up and see like a giant bar on the door or something. Because the gym is the worst place in the world.
Yeah.
As far as like filth,
Yeah. Yet you keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thumbing my nose at this thing. As the human being in this country most likely to get it, based on my medical history. Yeah, I'm kind of flouting it.
Are you?
Yeah.
All right, good. I got nothing. I got just...
on your end, does my video look okay?
Well, I mean, you're in it, so that's a problem.
Okay, sorry. Within the context of I'm in it. Because here it looks like a 320 by 240 blob from 1997.
I mean, it's not as perfect as it could be, but it's not like pixelated or terrible.
So, okay. I'm not going to worry about it.
Many things have changed in the past 24 hours, and I can't say that any of them are good. None. Since Paul, I want to talk. We have talked last. Since we have talked last, my kid is now going to be home for effectively a month, almost.
Sure.
From school, which is just peachy because nothing. If you come by my house and she's just chained up to a tree out front, and I just throw out apples every couple hours, it's fine. That is normal.
Sure.
That is normal. They've also canceled Build, the in-person. The Build as we know it. They're going to stream it. It's whatever. It's not Build.
Sure.
But most importantly, Paul, they have suspended Masters. The Masters tournament is not happening in April now.
Well, that's the most important, that one?
By far. Easily.
Brad, let me tell you a tale of woe that will far surpass anything that has impacted you so far from the coronavirus, because this is where it really hits home. I went to Wegmans yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Supermarket. It's nice. It's full of food. This whole place was overflowing with food. We went over we only needed two things. And one of those things was burrata cheese. It's a magical food, Brad. It's magical. It transforms a caprese salad into something wonderful. It's basically mozzarella combined with cream. It's incredible. I highly recommend you try this.
Yes.
They were out of burrata. I had to put mozzarella on my caprese salad like a savage, Brad.
Are you? Do I need to come up there? I can't fly up there because of.
I'm ready to cry. It was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That happened. So, we've all suffered. Is my point.
It does. It's true. These are. I would say the best of times, the worst of times, but it's mostly just the worst of times.
You kind of tweeted something today like, "This is probably not the best day to joke about the coronavirus."
Well, that was yesterday, but
yesterday. Sorry, this morning. Sorry,
today is fine.
Because I was like, challenge accepted. I what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I wasn't going to share this joke, but I told it to Paul privately, and I feel that it's really good. My brother got a good laugh out of it. So if you're offended by things, please turn off the show.
Yeah, I mean, in general, please don't watch.
Yes. But the good news coming out of all this corona stuff is that Boeing is offering any coronavirus infected person a free flight on the 737 MAX. Goodness of their hearts. Goodness. I mean,
That's brutal.
I was like,
I don't know the source to this, but I saw a cartoon on Facebook or something where it was like a guy on a plane looking up at the stewardess, and he said, "How often does this plane crash?" And she said, "Only once." It's like, okay, yeah. What else can we do here? Coronavirus, plane crashes.
So
NBA, NHL, it's all over, Brad.
Yeah,
baseball suspended.
You had an actually interesting post about Build, and not that actually Paul Thurrott officially broke the news that Build is canceled with a tweet. A tweet heard around the 5 people.
That's
who
we
are
heard
online.
around the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
So Build is effectively just a streaming only event. Everybody knew this was going to happen. That's not a big surprise.
Yeah.
But you think, and if it gets moved to Las Vegas, I am personally holding you accountable, as all people on the internet should, because this is your fault. But
as the messenger, yeah. No, I appreciate it. As someone who's been on the receiving end of the messenger is the problem. Yeah, why not just continue this? So this is actually a long burning thing. I had heard about this, I want to say a year and a half ago. I got an update at it when I saw some friends at Build last year. And I actually, when I originally wrote it, I named names. Like I actually wrote who there are Microsoft executives, highly placed Microsoft executives, who have been trying to kill Build for years. And this is a hard thing to understand. But it basically has to do, one of the things that maybe people, and even I don't completely understand, but politically speaking inside of Microsoft, like at any big company, there are people kind of jockeying for position to control different things. One of the stories I did tell in my article is, Steven Sinofsky, and people will kind of remember this, even if you like the guy or if you didn't like the guy. I mean, one of the things that he did that it was very political was he instituted this kind of purge of not invented here thing. So and what that meant, one of the big things that meant was he got rid of PDC because it was at that time owned by the DevDiv or whatever that was called at the time, the developer part of the company. And he brought Windows development in-house inside of Windows. And he started his own trade show called Build, and he had to own everything, right? And the other example I gave was if you look at Windows, the product, one of the things they started to do in very rapid succession was get rid of stuff from the past and put their own stuff in place. It was like they were trying to leave this permanent stamp on Windows. And REFS came out of that. Like they were going to get rid of NTFS. NTFS, I mean, one of the most indelible, parts of the office. It's crazy. But so there's been a lot of that kind of political action. He's not alone in that. And it still happens today. And if you think about how the company has evolved, Windows is no longer the future, and it may still be a big revenue generator, but it's not seen as the future. And so there are other parts of the company you can see, like as executives kind of move around, where Windows and Windows-like things used to be like the big thing of the company. Over time, the big things have become Microsoft 365 and then Office 365 and then Microsoft 365, and of course Azure. And what these people want is these executives that I'm not naming, I guess, is for Microsoft to have one major public-facing trade show a year, and it would be called Microsoft Ignite. And they want Build to go away. They would own this thing; it would be part of the company, and it would, it's a way of consolidating power essentially. The more you control, the more power you have, et cetera, et cetera. They've come close to doing it a couple of times apparently, and the timing of this is only because Microsoft just announced they were not having Build, as Build has been. And I thought to myself, this could do it. This could be the final push that those guys need to get their goals met, and so we'll see. Now, of course, this year, unless something changes, and it could, by the way, but as Brad knows, and as I hope most people know, Microsoft currently intends to have Ignite in New Orleans in September. But what I've heard, and I heard that again, I did literally just have a conversation about this. If Ignite becomes the only big public-facing show that Microsoft does, places like New Orleans and Orlando actually might not be big enough. And there's only one place in the United States that has enough hotel rooms to satisfy the needs of this Uber Microsoft show.
New York.
Los Angeles. No. Las Vegas. And Las Vegas is either the most or least desirable place on earth, depending on... Brad, did you get a haircut or something?
I did. I did.
Yeah. Okay. So I noticed that. That's a little strange. So anyway, anyway, that's there's not much new information here for me, but I put it out today because, and I originally I wasn't even sure I was going to write about it yet, but as I started thinking about it, I was like, this could do it. This could be a lasting impact of the coronavirus.
Yeah, I did get my haircut because I was afraid that the whole world was going to shut down. And
Yeah.
it was getting a little shaggy, and I was like, I need to go shower because now I'm like covered in short
Yeah,
clippings.
exactly. You're like itchy and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
like, wait, isn't that a symptom of the coronavirus? Why is
Scratchy
my
throat?
neck so itchy?
So,
Oh well.
anyways, that's good. We'll see what happens with Build here. It's yeah.
Well, I mean, for me and for you, this is unfortunate because the big part of Build, of course, is the in-person stuff, and maybe people don't really care about too much about this, but from my perspective, and I assume for Brad's as well, our experience at Build has a lot to do with the interpersonal stuff, and we see people, and it's kind of great. And for most people, of course, the big thing about Build are the sessions,
right.
And to a lesser extent, I guess, the keynote and whatever announcements they have. But, if you're interested in any of the subjects that are a big part of Build and they have different tracks and sessions and so forth, you can go back at any time and watch that stuff on demand. And that's how I have experienced that part of Build and Ignite too, actually, and other shows, because, sometimes on the plane ride home, but certainly later on, I will go back and watch those things.
Yep.
And that part of it won't be different. That's going to be the same. Yeah, it's just too bad we don't get to see people,
Yeah. As Frosty Winnipeg says in the chat room, you need more internet. You're slowly turning into like a GIF over there.
Yeah, something's wrong. The coronavirus is descending on my house. It's eating the internet.
I think was the term revolutionary? I can't remember, but Apple is also doing WWDC now online, and they called it like a revolutionary new experience. And somebody tweeted out that said only Apple would call having to postpone because of a pandemic revolutionary. So
I hope they pipe in an applause track.
Yeah.
That's
what I need, a little applause button, like a little laugh track too.
What I need is a little string I can pull, and it just makes like balloons and confetti rain down on top of me. It'd be kind of messy, but
yeah, it'd be good once.
I feel like it'd be a good gag.
Yeah. Then your cat would come in and just destroy everything else that's going on. What else is going on besides, I don't know, every conference being canceled, everything you care about being sick, no eggs in the grocery store type scenario?
No burrata cheese. It's the worst.
It is. Actually, I went to
what we've come to.
Got my haircut. Trader Joe's is on like the way back, and as we often do in our house, we're gonna make pizzas for dinner tonight. And I just didn't even think anything of it. Just walked into the grocery store and was like, wow, there's a lot of people here.
Right. Oh yes, pandemic.
Yes. I mean,
I just want toilet paper, milk, and what's the other thing people get? Bread.
Yeah. I got over my potential fear of being lonely at home real quick when I saw everybody's like, yeah, I kind of hate all these people. Like, just so.
Yep.
Teams will now I set this up so it's not working yet, at least not for us. So I logged into our Teams thing, turned on the feature, but I can't figure out how to actually get. I kept trying to add Paul, and I couldn't get it to work. So
I didn't look at the exact wording on the announcement, but is this one of those? This might be something you need to go in as an admin and enable.
Which I did.
Okay. Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, like the toggle's there, and there's one for Skype for Business, and then there's another one that just says Skype, and so I turned it on, and then just can't get it quite to work yet. So we'll see. I'm hoping that works, because then I will remove Skype from everywhere. We'll just go Teams forever. I don't know. E3 canceled, GDC canceled, Masters canceled, NBA canceled. Everything's canceled. Nothing.
Yeah. So for the NHL and the NBA, whose seasons end in June, essentially, this, could be it. Baseball could start late, have a short season. That could be okay.
Yeah.
But like I was telling my wife this morning, from the tech industry perspective, our at least the first 6 months of this year were just canceled. Like,
which is the best part for me. I mean, Ignite's my favorite conference, but like the thing I'm most concerned, this is incredibly selfish, is my favorite thing that we do is when somebody's holding a conference and then we are just ripping on them on Twitter for like the 3 hours that it's going. That is it. That is all I live for.
Right. Well, good news, Brad. We're going to be able to do that.
Thank you. I was getting nervous.
Yeah. That's about it. That's all we got. That's
that
what we
is
can
like there's been
cling to.
nothing. I know there's some stuff going on next week. We know that, which will be good because Microsoft's got their GDC streaming stuff. Things will come out from that, and there should be some other highlights. But other than
If you care about travel, just as a traveler, or if you're a business traveler and you've been suspended essentially because of this, the thing I'm worried about is the next 6 months, right? So let's assume the coronavirus kind of slows down and things go back to normal. Like it's going to be terrible for like the first 6 months when everything's kind of back is probably going to be horrible. It's going to be like that supermarket, but it's going to be like that every day, you know?
Yeah. Once people are confident again that they can,
because things will start getting scheduled again. Disney will open up again, you know? I don't know. It's weird.
It is kind of weird. It is weird. Wash your hands, folks. You got anything else for today, Paul?
Yeah, stop touching your face as much as I do. I have a huge problem with that. I touch my face like I wear contacts, so I have to touch my eyes every day. You know, and I'm constantly like digging around in the corner of my eye. Like today at the gym, I had like an itch, and I was like physically, try to stop myself from touching my face. Like it's impossible. I must touch my face like 1,000 times a day.
Yeah,
like some compulsive OCD twitch or something. Like it's weird. I am the worst case scenario for this disease. Or the best case, I guess.
I was going to say, like I'm pretty much okay with putting you out into a field and be like, just we'll sacrifice that one. Like,
yeah, he had a good run. Let him go.
Yeah,
he needs to sleep. It's fine.
Shh, don't fight it. Don't fight it.
Yeah, just hold my nose.
On that ridiculous ad, we'll catch everybody Monday probably, as long as the internet's working. There's something wrong with this.
Yeah, there really is.
Stop touching my face now.
I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but I literally have been having internet problems all week. It's been very strange. And, of course, Call of Duty came out with this thing, and I'm trying to play it. And my experience has been pretty terrible. And just on the spur of the moment, I was like, you know what? Let me try something. And I hopped into Black Ops 4, played a multiplayer game. I got like 35 kills. I was fantastic. There is something wrong with this new Call of Duty. Like, there is something right with Black Ops 4 when it comes to multiplayer that is very wrong with the new game. Like this has been my experience consistently.
I don't know. I like the new Warzone. That's all I got.
Yeah, no, it looks great. I'd love to play it.
Yeah.
See, I just touched my face.
Maybe you should get those hard wires. See if that helps you.
I'm going to try that, actually. I am going to try that.
Wait, I mean, you don't have to like drill your holes. Just run a wire.
No, I'm going to try it. Right. I'm going to run a wire just to try it. Yeah.
Actually, just take the sledgehammer and just wait for your wife to go out, and she comes back and be like, "What happened?" Like, I'm fixing the internet.
I'll just drill a hole in the wall, and then I'll just pull the wire through. And it will go across the floor.
It's fine.
That's exactly what everyone always wanted from this house.
Just get a little area rug and just put it over. It's fine. It's all right. Later.
Bye.